Okay, we are officially recording. Thank you for the reminder. So this is our first BYOPink call, and I'm going to shortly turn it over to our co-MCs, but please utilize the chat box, and we will be recording this to share. This is supposed to be, we'll get out as much of it as you can put in. So let's share ideas and let's talk and let's have some fun. So I'm going to share my screen with the slides. All right. Can everyone see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Then let's take it. So this is just a quick agenda. So we're going to do some introductions, celebrations. We've got some fundraising tools and a guest speaker, and then networking, idea sharing, and then a mission moment. We have a survivor speaker, and then closing and call to action. All right, I'm turning it over now to our MCs, Liz and Tracy. Woo!
Hey, thanks, Katie. Tracy, I'll just start, seeing that my name's on the top there. I am Liz Powell, and I am with Making Strides of West Michigan. I got hooked in shortly after I was diagnosed with breast cancer 7 years ago, and kind of just stayed. So I make strides for my daughters so they never have to hear the words "you have cancer," along with so many other family and friends and people in general. Cancer sucks and we need to do more about it. So that's a little bit about me. Tracy, how about you?
Yeah, well, hello everyone. My name is Tracy Fiesel, and I'm with the Making Strides of Lansing. I'm a secure survivor, and I also was connected with the American Cancer Society through right after I was diagnosed. And part of the reason why was just because I utilized some of the Lick Good, Feel Good, and that experience was very positive for me, and I wanted to make sure that those were really, those services were there for future cancer survivors. So.
Awesome. Well, we all know that we won't be gathering in Michigan this October due to the pandemic, but we have an exciting and engaging October planned for all of you. And you know, we're here to fight cancer. So we want to know where you're from. So in the chat, if you remember how to get to the little chat box down at the bottom where the word chat says, chat and let us know where you're from. I'm going to type in right now that I'm from West Michigan, and let us give a shout out of where you're from and why you walk. Why are you doing this? And while we're catching up on some of that, we truly appreciate all of your support for Making Strides. And we know it's a Making Strides movement. You know, it's never really been about the walk. It's been about fundraising for research, for the amazing programs the American Cancer Society has to offer, Road to Recovery, Reach to Recovery. And this is all to ensure that no one has to face breast cancer again. So we thank you for that. Thanks, Jeff, for popping in from Saginaw and Lansing, West Michigan, Grand Rapids. Y'all are awesome. Julie from Clarkston. I love this. So right now, I'd like to recognize some of the people that we've got going on here, and that would be our survivors. Can I get a wave of hands of everybody that's a survivor on here? And type into the group chat that I'm a 7-year survivor. Let us know how many years survivor, where you're from. Tracy, 6 year. Ernestine, I know
Yeah.
Ernestine's about the same as me.
I'm-
11 years, I think.
No, be 9.
9 years. And
Yes.
Paula's 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna raise a glass to all of us survivors.
Ooh, good job. I just stopped sharing so you guys could see each other better.
Yeah, no, that's awesome because that's important. We need to see faces so we can celebrate survivors. Martha, I know Martha's a survivor. Ruth, that's awesome, you guys. Cheers to all of you survivors.
Cheryl's survivor. I don't know if you put it in the chat box.
Yeah, I'm trying to read and talk at the same time here.
I know. I don't know. I don't think she did.
Yeah. No, you're good. So can you put the screen back up?
Yep, I'm putting it right up now.
Just so I know. Oh yes, thank you to our national sponsors. You know, just because we're not walking together as a group doesn't mean that we lose out on sponsorships. And we've got 2 amazing ones that come back year after year. And we are so thankful for Avon and their sponsorship. And then also Zeta Tau Alpha fraternity. And we are so grateful for them as our survivor ambassadors every year. I don't know about other walks, but in West Michigan, we have alumni and students from Ferris come down and help us out at our event. And it's just amazing. We love our Zeta girls.
Our Lansing, our MSU. So it's great to have those connections.
That's awesome. Do we have any Zetas on the call tonight?
Terry was gonna try and be on it, but I don't think she's on it.
Okay.
No, I think Terry just got on.
But did
Yeah, I was
she
just gonna say, I thought I saw Terry. That's awesome. We are so grateful for those
Here.
sponsorships. Terry on?
Yep, she's on, but she's on mute. So
Yeah.
Terry, if you can hear us, you're on mute. But thank you for being here.
Oh, she's all pinked out.
Yeah.
So next I want to talk about our pace setters and grand clubbers. Do we have any grand clubbers in the house tonight? I know Martha is a grand clubber.
Cheryl raised her hand.
Who did?
Cheryl.
Cheryl,
Yeah, long time.
grand clubber. I don't know if you guys know much about our grand clubber. Well, probably you do because you're team leaders and things, but grand clubbers are ones that raise $1,000 or more. And then we also have the Pace Setters Club. And those people raise over $2,500. So I know myself as a grand clubber, my goal is once I hit grand club, my goal is to become pace setter. And so I think, you know, I just strive to keep on moving up the ladder in the, in those kind of, you know, parts of our events. And so I want to do a cheers to all of our grand clubbers and pace setters. Can you guys, if you are one, type over in the chat what you are. I'm typing right now. I'm a grand clubber. I've been a grand clubber a couple of years in a row. I know Martha has been one. Cheryl, how many years have you been a grand clubber?
By you.
Awesome.
This will make strides virtual bring your own pink party.
Oh,
Still
Terry
part of Making
talking to someone.
Hi guys, I'm at a work event.
Oh,
I'm dual working here.
I love it.
Handing out my pink ribbons.
I love it. So we have a grand clubber amongst us tonight that I am going to turn it over to them. Martha, my dear, tell us about your grand club experience. Tell us about how you reached that, how you set that goal for yourself. What do you do? How do you get there?
Oh, you're on mute, Marv.
As I've told you and Susan and Taylor, it's really just after having breast cancer, it became my passion. And I just put it out there on Facebook consistently and constantly. And it just
Did you
seems,
say annoyingly?
well, as you well know, I can certainly be quite annoying as well too. But I seem to get the job done. I've reached the level of
everybody like
I've been a
ice cream or
patient.
something. And I'm like, okay. So the ice cream place is
I can
$70.
do.
So it's $8.75. So
Sorry, hold on. I know there's, oh, mute. Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mute all. And then Martha, you can unmute yourself and keep talking. There.
I'm not sure. Just part of it is just being very persistent and annoying at the same time too. But I've reached the pace setter the last couple of years, and I really hope to be able to do that again this year. It's just being persistent and passionate, and just don't give up. Just keep going.
That's amazing. And I know, just following you on Facebook, the biggest thing that you do is ask. And I think we're all just so afraid of just asking, you know, and putting it out there on our Facebook and asking for those donations. So kudos to you, Martha, for hitting Grand Club and Pace Setter for the last couple of years. You know how important your funds are for making strides, and we are so grateful for the work that you put into it. Anybody else that's a Grand Clubber have a story to share about their experience?
You're a Grand Clubber.
I am a Grand Clubber. I think, you know, somewhat like Martha, mine is more in the month of October. I annoy people in October, send emails, send text messages, you know, ask, just, you know, constant ask, send text messages, and let them know. And so, you know, usually I hit Grand Club a little bit earlier than I normally do here in September, but, you know, I ramp it up come the real true pink season. So we'll see where we are, but my goal is to hit Pace Setter this year. So
Me too. Me too.
That's awesome. I didn't hit it with strides, but I can share. I was this close with Relay this year, but it could be something you could duplicate. So with the Facebook fundraiser, which I know, Liz, you're about to jump into a little bit, I thought, how can I engage my family and friends to donate to my Facebook fundraiser? Because they'll do like the initial when it posts, and then they kind of forget about it. So I was like, well, I can make a fool of myself. Everybody can do that. So I said, for a donation, I'll do within legal, and I was pregnant at the time, legal and physical limit what you want me to do. So Paul, my husband, rolled it off and said, I want you to do easy pickup lines in a French accent with a fake mustache. So I did. And then it turned into like TikTok videos and karaoke and lip sync and certain dance. It was a lot of fun. And I raised almost $800 in 3 days.
that's
So
amazing.
that one along.
Wow.
That's amazing.
That was in the middle of COVID. Like it was just hitting.
Bless your heart.
Well, and I think, you know, like you said, Katie, it's just like right now, everybody is on social media or on TikTok or on Instagram. Everybody's doing things virtually. So it's super easy just to create a virtual event for, you know, to have people participate in. And I actually, I'm just going to hop right into what we're going to talk about next. And that is our fundraising app and Facebook fundraising. So our fundraising app is super, super easy. First, thank you, Martha, for sharing your story.
Yep.
Truly appreciate your efforts for making strides. this app is kind of as easy as 1, 2, 3. You go to your app store and you download it. It kind of looks like that. And then you just sign up. And you can add your you can add pictures, you can add your story. And it's super easy that way to raise money. You can see on the screen here, oh, sorry. You can set up your Facebook fundraiser. You can share your fundraiser. You can text people. You can email people from your app. So if anybody's got any questions about how to download or use the app, put them in the chat group that any staff member or any of us volunteers can get with you to help you through downloading it and getting it ready to use. I know this year, my first time, I'm also a researcher's ambassador. And for the first time, I got a check and I learned how to scan the check on my phone and deposit it right into my fundraising app. And that was so easy. I mean, I was a little challenged and I was like, Susan, Taylor, I'm gonna need help with this. And then it's so simple just to do it. You know, the instructions are super easy. So I hope everybody is confident in their fundraising app and how to use that. And like I said, you know, put some questions in the chat if you have questions about what's going on with yours and things, and you can sign up friends, you can take donations on it. They've got PayPal, debit cards, credit cards, you name it. It's available on there.
Well, and I was going to say too, real quick, I'll just piggyback on that if that's okay. Some people, when you're talking about donations, like if you're like Ernestine, you go through whatever particular group you're attending that day and you say, come on, give me $1, let's do donations. And some people are going to say, oh, I'm sorry, I just don't have any cash. And you go, that's okay, because I can take your credit card. And
Yep.
So you can just take it right there on your phone and it can even immediately shoot them over a receipt. So any of your staff partners can also shoot you over an email copy of some instructions on how to load that and utilize it if you need that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks, Susan. Yeah, it's very user friendly, which we appreciate that from that perspective. Now I'm going to jump to Facebook fundraising. Who's familiar with that? Shoot a message in the group chat to let me know. Are we all doing Facebook fundraising? Are we familiar with it and how it works?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Because that Facebook fundraising, believe it or not, research shows that 30% of all fundraising is linked to Facebook. And now, because we're doing so many things virtually, I would guess that number could go up more because everybody is on social media, that you should really be utilizing your Facebook fundraising app or Facebook fundraising. I mean, and you just go into your app and you link it right there. It puts it out on your Facebook. People can click on it in your Facebook. It takes them directly to your page and you donate. I mean, it's truly that simple. You can ask friends. And I think what the cool part about it is too, at least I like to do this, is then when I get a donation, I can thank the people right on Facebook. And then others see that and go, oh, they donated. And then before you know it, you have 5 more people that are donating to your fundraiser. So super simple that way. Does anybody have questions about Facebook fundraising and how that works and how to get it linked to your Facebook page? Anything like that, sharing it?
Jeff just said that tagging those people helps more people to see it as well, which is a great point. So yep. Jeff, that's actually how I raised $1,400 in 24 hours with Relay for Life. I created my Facebook fundraiser last year with Relay for Life, and I got my first donation and I tagged them in my Facebook status and said thank you. And the donations just kept rolling in. And every time someone donated, I thanked them right away and I tagged them. And before I knew it, I had $1,400, and I was just trying to raise $200 so I could get the t-shirt for the fall challenge. And so doing that, and the way I asked you guys was I said, hey guys, I need to raise $200 people to give me 10 bucks, ready, set, go. And I had 1,400. So I asked for something easy. And if I can just quick share what I know Martha does a lot is she updates her Facebook fundraiser. She'll jump into her Facebook fundraiser and maybe it's just an inspirational quote that she found on, you know, a meme or an image on Facebook. Updating your picture, as you can see by the one here on the screen, that's not a stock photo. That's something that Hannah, who did this fundraiser, actually self. So you can customize your Facebook fundraiser, make it your own, change the verbiage so that you can make it your own story. And then people are really connected to why you're doing it. And I know that, you know, Martha didn't say this, but she's hit her fundraising milestones. Most of it is through the Facebook fundraising. And just keeping it updated and customized, and by adding things like inspirational quotes or a little story to her status in there, it's getting more. So that might help too.
Yeah, totally agree with that, Susan. And then just the part that you say, add a personal story behind it of why you're walking, why you're doing it. You know, because not everybody is a cancer survivor. You know, we've got, you know, a few that I can think of within our West Michigan group that they're doing it because ACS walked into their office and said, hey, could you join, would you like to join a team? And then got hooked up into making strides that way. And so you share your story about why you're doing it. Share stories about, you know, if you are a survivor and how many years. I know back when I celebrated 5 years, I did a post about help me celebrate 5 years of being cancer free and donate $5 or, you know, whatever I put out there as the challenge. And it's amazing how fast $5 turns into $55, turns into $100. So, you know, like Martha said, you have to be persistent. And like, you know, Jeff put in the comments of, you know, annoying funds cancer. So, you know, be annoying.
That's me.
I'm also, because I constantly have to remind people, just gonna throw it out there, please don't set up your Facebook fundraiser through Facebook. You have to do it through the computer, your dashboard, or the app in order for it to sync. Just
Yes.
my friendly reminder.
Yeah, yes, that's an excellent reminder, Katie. Because yeah, you definitely first go through either on your computer or through the app on your phone or tablet and get that set up and then share it from there. And it's super simple on your computer. I actually do it from my computer a lot. I just go in and log in and it's right there. Share with your friends and they ask you how you want to do it. Either email, Facebook, whatever, and you just, you know, throw it out there on Facebook. Any other questions? I don't want to rush anybody or, you know, miss something if we have questions.
I know through the app, I've done a lot of fundraising through Facebook, but also just through the app, I'm able to send those people that aren't on Facebook like messages and the links to my page. And I actually raised quite a bit of money that way as well. So
that's an excellent idea.
yeah.
Yeah, I know. There's the if you speak of annoying, yeah, like Tracy said, you can text. So you're on your phone, so it's synced to your contacts. So you can literally send a text out to everyone that you have a contact for, which could be dangerous. But yeah, Tracy's totally right.
Yeah, I like that. Good ideas, everybody. Great ideas. So I think, what's my next screen?
This is just a PSA. This is something that's brand new that we now have Facebook Messenger fundraising coach that you can sign up for. So just kind of wanted to throw it out there.
Awesome. Thank you.
And then next is turn it over to Tracy.
Yeah, Tracy, we're going to talk a little bit more about fundraising.
Let's
And I'm
start.
going to stop sharing my screen because I want to see all your faces for the part.
So this is just more like a conversation that we're going to have with one another. So we're going to start with a question. What traditional fundraisers have you done in the past that you can't do right now?
And you have to unmute yourself because I muted everyone if you're trying to talk.
I think traditionally a couple of the fundraisers that I have done have been events at like local breweries where the breweries do a give back, you know, and right now it's hard. They've got limited hours, limited space that I really haven't, no pun intended, tapped into those. But I think, you know, just that would be a traditional fundraiser that I would do, that I would plan to host at a local brewery.
I would say a good like solution that's come up with us is that, especially with a coin shortage, because it's a lot to ask them to do a give back night, would they be able to do a roundup?
Oh,
Because then it's not costing them anything.
There you go.
Because there's a coin shortage right now anyway.
So check this one out. One of my Real Men Wear Pink is hosting an event at his home this Saturday, and it's a gourmet dinner, and he sold seats at his table. 8 seats were available for $125 a piece. So that's a safe number to have together. They have rules and regulations for what they can and can't do in terms of masks and contact. He just so happens to love to cook, but this is easily something that you could do, take out and just dress it up, and it's all about the company. But people like to have social interaction at a time when you otherwise can't have it the way you used to. So it's a brilliant idea that he has to leverage that desire, and he just gets to cook and hang out and have fun. In his case, I'm sure there are going to be some beverages consumed. And so he just has to be responsible for those costs. And that's his donation, but that's going to raise $1,000 on Saturday night. So
what was the dollar amount again, Jeff, that he was charging people?
$125 a plate. With a maximum of 8 plates, which that scarcity is also part of what makes it intriguing. And then, you know, couples are going to want to come. So that's $250 a couple, but mathematically the 8 times 125 is a cool $1,000 raised.
Yeah. I'm loving that idea.
Yeah. What I've done past is when I was working, but I'm retired now, I would challenge my staff at my workplace to donate. And like Susan said, now I just ask my friend, I need $1 from you. I need $2 from you, and I don't take no. And they said, well, okay, I just take whatever they got. I just ask them so.
Brilliant.
One of the Real Men Wear Pink last year, he put on his Facebook kind of a challenge. Anybody who donates $25 to the cause will win a kayak trip. Well, I like to do outside stuff. It's social distancing. It's outside. And so I donated, and I actually got to participate. I got one. And able to participate with that this year. So, yeah, so if you have anything that maybe you enjoy doing, like kayaking, or maybe it's a bike ride and they can take you along on a different trail or something like that. They have those resources. The kayaking, it didn't cost him anything because he already had the kayaks, and so it was gas to get us to the river. So it was a lot of fun.
That's great. That's a great idea. Now, I'm gonna interject here for just a hot second. Tracy, do you all know that online we have fundraising ideas for you? And you can go to your Making Strides websites, and there is a virtual fundraising guide, A to Z. And it's how to engage with ACS virtually, but then fundraise digitally, and then also physically distant, socially together fundraising ideas. So you can get ideas right online and tweak them to what works best for you and your community, your friends, your family. Like one down here, if you know somebody that does yoga or Zumba or Pound, host a virtual class in exchange for donations. If you do yoga, host a class that you do yoga or something. So there's so many things that you can kind of tweak to do your own virtual fundraising.
Yeah, I have
ideas.
I work with some volunteers actually that have been doing. It's outside of the ACS, but it doesn't mean that somebody from one of you can't do the same thing. But they have been actually the give backs have been actually very profitable for them. If they give they've done it with Maru a couple of different times, and they actually did one of those. They hosted it was a Sunday morning brunch, and it was like $125, but they got they cooked with a renowned chef, and they had a cooking lesson, and they had this wonderful brunch that they put together, and they all did it over Zoom, and it was virtual, and I guess it was a lot of fun. So I think they had like 40 or 50 people that participated. So they've had some very, very successful fundraising through that.
That's a great idea. And that's, I loved Jeff's suggestion of his Real Men Wear Pink, of this gourmet dinner, and so many options that we can socially, responsibly do this and still gather our friends together in a way of giving back and fighting, like a cooking class. My wheels are already turning on because I know somebody that does that, and I'm like, maybe we could do that and raise some funds. That's a great idea.
Anybody else?
I know a traditional one that always gets brought up with teams is bake sales that they've been able to do in the past. And obviously you can't really do that in the COVID world. So one thing that I've brought up is you could do bake to order. So you could take pre-orders and you could do it that way. Or we had Grace, who used to work at ACS, was a Grand Club member, and she hit her Grand Club because she made amazing pies. She'd be like, for $100 donation, I'll bake you up. Like, she makes the crust, everything. Like, she would bake a pie. So maybe it's like, I've seen like, I don't know, pumpkin sales or watermelon. Like, those are things that you can do socially distanced if you.
Yeah. I've been collecting cans because nobody wants to return them right now. And I am close to $1,000 just off of returning cans. And it's not a glamorous gig, but I put some gloves on and I am going to pick up some more tomorrow at 10:30. And there's just so many people, they don't want to deal with it right now. And so I will deal with it. And it's a small sacrifice for what really has turned out to be easy money, you guys. And it started by one person saying, who's collecting cans? And when I thanked them for donating their cans to the American Cancer Society on Facebook, I almost could not keep up with how many people said, come get my cans. I even picked some up from Martha's daughter and turned those in. So, yeah, sometimes it's something that is really just that easy that turns out to be a big win. So,
Yep.
Looks like Doug, another guy is doing an outdoor Big Ten season kickoff and cornhole tournament.
Yeah, I love that idea.
Yep. Very cool. Love the chats.
Yeah, anything else that we can think of that would help us? I did, let's see, I highlighted some things here. Oh, you know, one thing, as some of us are back to work now, don't forget about asking your employer if they do matching gifts. And, you know, or your friends. I mean, you know, that's always out there. I don't know, during this time of COVID and layoffs and dollars are short, but it's always worth the ask. You know, if you don't ask, you don't know. And so, you know, make sure you're asking even the people that donate to you if their employer matches.
Liz, I'm hearing a couple stories of companies that don't have a formal matching program.
Okay.
However, when one of their employees goes to you know, one of the execs or whatever and says, listen, normally I have no problem reaching my goals through all my hard work, but this year's been tough and I've managed to raise X number of dollars. Is there anything you can do to match that or add to it and really help me get to my goal? And employers are more sympathetic to that. So even if your company doesn't have a formal matching program, that doesn't mean they won't match.
That's excellent. That's great. That's a great idea. Great idea. Thanks, Jeff, for sharing that. I think the other thing too is make a self-donation. Show your friends and family and the Facebook world that you are also donating to your campaign. And I know, I think Martha did this. Did you challenge people, Martha, like that you and Steve were going to match dollar to dollar for donations, you know? And if you are fortunate enough to do something like that, that you could say, okay, in the next 24 hours, I need X amount of people and I will match up to $100. Put it out there and see how, you know, how much money that you can raise by just challenging people yourself on your own Facebook fundraising.
And we could have really been, we didn't even put a specific dollar amount. And I was amazed. I mean, this is just a sign of the times, I think, because there was just a couple of people who donated. I mean, we could have really been screwed, excuse my language, if people really stepped up their game to make a donation.
Yeah. You know, and ask other people if they'd be up for the challenge to have matching gifts. I know I've got a couple big hitters on my end that donate large quantities, and they always say, well, I'll match money if you've got people that are willing to, you know, raise and match with me. So I'm also looking at that as a possible fundraiser for me in October to match the dollar amount that somebody else is giving me.
Mm-hmm.
Any other ideas from anybody else? I can't see everybody yet. It looks like Kate is sharing the new resources, the actual the fundraising guide that has your physical distance, socially together, fundraising ideas. So, and of course that can be found on the Making Strides website as well. So, anybody else for any other ideas?
Yes.
Go ahead, Cheryl.
So I actually got someone to do a face mask for me. And because of a little snafu of a prior order, I said, can you make the base price $5 for me? And that includes the printing and the mask. And on top of that, the masks are pink. And it's going to have my Team Benjamin with me. And I'm going to sell those as a fundraiser for $10.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I'll probably say my folks who are over $200, I'll probably just send them one.
Love it.
That's a great idea, Cheryl.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right, well, we're going to move on. We do have a survivor that is with us tonight. Her name is Ruth Burgess. Ruth, if you'd like to tell your story, we would love to hear it.
They just dumped this on me yesterday, so I wasn't real sure. And I've never done any particular fundraising. I participated in events, but never tried it from the ground up like you guys. I really have to give you a lot of credit for all the work and effort that you put forth. I was diagnosed last June of 2019 and immediately started chemo, the cocktail, the famous cocktail. And after we were done with the cocktail in November, had my surgery, did some radiation, completed one time or infusion of Herceptin for another 6 months, and finally they gave me a clean bill of health. So
whoop whoop.
I'm not sure if we're supposed to start counting as a survivor. Like after my surgery, they said the report said no disease found or no indication of disease. So can I start counting from then as a survivor, or do I have to wait for the whole process to start?
No, you know what? I was always told I was a survivor the day I was not diagnosed.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
All right. That's what my original doctor, my breast doctor, I call her, was the surgeon, and she's the one that told me about it. And she, on her call, she told me, she's like, I got good news and bad news. You've got cancer, but the good news is you're going to be a survivor because we're great at what we do. So, and she proved it too. It was great.
That's awesome, Ruth.
Yeah. And Ruth, you had shared with me that you did go to the cancer.org website when you first were diagnosed.
When we were diagnosed, or when I was diagnosed, a lot of different resources that people would suggest that you go to. And the scariest part for me was, well, not the scariest part, but the financial issue was very, very scary. So I think that's when I was looking at the Cancer Society for, potential assistance with that. I didn't really, one thing I was hoping I could do was to make contact with people that were going through similar situations and at the time. And because of the way my chemo was set up and everything, we were sort of just singular visits, and I didn't meet anybody that way. But you knew things were going on because the nurses would keep you informed and stuff. But that's mainly how I've used them before. I think though, it's from listening to you guys, it doesn't sound like rocket science. Just maybe I could do it too.
Oh, you could totally do it, Ruth.
Yeah. So I don't know about this year, but definitely. So does your fundraising basically center around the fall months, or are you doing it year round?
We start pretty,
I
Go
think
ahead,
it
Martha.
depends on the person, but some start January, some start October.
Okay.
Because
All right.
Martha, I think you're saying you're kind of year round, right? Because you're already over.
yeah, I start relatively early.
Okay.
And it is, I mean, usually, like Liz said, the last couple of years or so, I mean, I've hit my goal by this time, and I'm, it's just a different world, obviously, that we're living in right now. But
Right.
I start early, and like I said, I'm just persistent.
Yeah.
So easy to do.
Yeah.
Generally, our website goes live in about February. And so that's
Okay.
the earliest that you can sign up for the Making Strides events in your area. So
Okay.
once our website is live in February, early March, then you can start fundraising however you want. I know that we have done here in West Michigan, we've held Mother's Day fundraisers
Okay.
and other things during the summertime to kind of generate a hype and activities that are going to go from spring to summer and move us right into October.
Yeah.
I know for me personally, my people that I reach out to for fundraising respond better in October than they do in March or April. So I don't really do too much the springtime. And so I hit it pretty hard come October 1st. But you can really fundraise year round. And there's, we've got lots of different ideas that you could do during whatever month you want.
Okay.
And that's what I was going to say, Liz, is Ruth, it's totally okay to fundraise year round, but you will notice that some people give more in certain times of the year than others.
Okay.
So if you feel like your fundraising maybe isn't off to a fast start, don't get discouraged. It's okay. You're going to notice that maybe as you get closer to the fall and maybe you're getting more ideas from your peers here at American Cancer Society, or more tools are available, more pink is available, or whatever the case is, you'll notice that your fundraising will have spikes and valleys, and that's totally okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, and I just want to thank you, Ruth. Yes, it was total last minute ask that Ruth jumped on and we talked today.
I was just innocently going in for my port flush, okay?
Yeah, sorry, it was the McLaren team. Lori said she'd find someone.
She did too, yeah. I think she's coming in today. Yes, she is.
I have to point it out because Jeff put it in the chat box and you mentioned Herceptin, and that's another way you guys have helped Ruth and other survivors like yourself, because ACS initially was the initial supporter for that researcher that developed Herceptin. So we've been a big part of that drug.
Cool. That's
So
good
good job,
to know.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also, and you had mentioned wanting to connect with someone that's going through what you're going through, but it's kind of hard meeting in person. I don't think I included this in the slides, but just so you know, Reach to Recovery, which is a program I think most of you are familiar with, it matches breast cancer patients with survivors that have gone through similar treatment. That's all. It is now like a brand new virtual based online thing, so you don't have to meet in person, especially in the COVID world.
Yeah. Is Reach for Survivors?
Reach to Recovery. And so they're always looking for volunteers, especially those that were recently out of treatment.
Okay. I will look them up.
Yeah,
Thank
if you go to
you.
cancer.org and search Reach to Recovery, there's information. But they just
Okay.
they invested some more into the words are escaping me at 626, but the a platform, I think platform was the word I was searching for.
Thank you, though. That I will look
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah, Reach for Recovery is a great program. So, you know, if you're just looking for someone to, you know, talk to, share your story with, you know, they're not medical professionals, but they're just somebody that can relate to what you're going through.
Right.
And, you know, I think all of us survivors can speak to that it's great to have caregivers and support and family, but when you're going through something like this, it's awesome to have somebody else that understands the chemo cocktail, that understands neuropathy or anything else that you're going through. And that's kind of what Reach to Recovery will help you, you know, they'll pair you up with another breast cancer survivor that's had similar breast cancer like you and treatment like you, so you can share back and forth together.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
That's wonderful.
So, you know what? It's about time that we wrap this up. We don't want to keep you too far past 6:30. I just want to thank you all for jumping on tonight and giving us the opportunity to share about what our mission is and what we need to do this fall. As the screen says right here, our support is at risk this year. And it's critical that we do our fundraising. And you know, that I use this tagline a lot this year for things. We must be bolder, braver, and stronger than ever before. And those of us that are team leaders and have teams and are fundraising, we need to take those words and go big or go home. We need to be bolder in our asks. We need to be braver in who we do ask. And we need to be stronger when we get a no or rejection, and just keep on moving forward to continue this fight. So I, on behalf of myself and a survivor, I thank you very much for fighting.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
What we really want you to do, again, reach out to your teams and any donors, and we just need their support now. So what is next? We're gonna look for the resources mentioned in the chat box. And then register online. Make sure that you activate your Facebook if you haven't yet, or reshare your Facebook fundraiser today with a call to action and donate. Liz?
And then the other thing that I'm going to tell you to do is make sure you're watching your Facebook page and your websites, because at our next meeting, we're going to talk about the fun stuff that we've got planned for October that will help your fundraising. Some new activities that we're going to put into place because our walk is virtual. So we're going to have some fun activities that you and your team can engage in. So if you have any questions, please reach out to staff partners, reach out to your chairs of your events, and let us know how we can help. So let's go Pink.
Let's go Pink.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Guys. Thanks for
everybody.
Steve, Liz, and Tracy. Thanks to our speakers, Martha and Ruth.
Yes, thank you,
What
Martha.
you got going on over there, girl? Look at Ernie came.
Look at Ernie.
Out of nowhere with it.
Right? Like, girl, you holding back on us.
Holding back on us. All right, y'all.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Yes. Bye.
See you all in October.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.